Welcome to the A.J.I podcast, episode 1. If you guys aren't already following, please do and share with all of your friends, your parents, your moms, your dads, your aunts, your uncles, your dogs, cats, owners. And now, let's get right into the episode. Here with my wife, Jerica Iglesias. So yeah, I've really been wanting to do this for a really long time. It's been honestly literally like a dream of mine to just kind of put my voice out there, and to just
tell who inspired you.
Who inspired me? Okay, so I kind of got to start way back, just kind of like during school, and
I low-key didn't know about it really. Just a little bit here and there.
Yeah, but so what was going on? So I had been in school for, about like
3.5 years.
Well, yeah, that's like to date was like me starting on my 4th year. But before that, it was like after like the first year and a half or something like that. I guess it was after like me first failing my first classes.
Mm-hmm.
Because like too much workload and balancing work and school and just either one of those nonstop and just
literally
not having
busy
a day
7 days a week.
Yeah.
Not one day to rest.
And so like after that, like my main thing was I got to keep pushing through school because this is what my dad wanted me to do, and I know this is also really important, and
you wanted to make him proud.
Yeah, that was a really big thing for me. But we went on our Costa Rica trip, and we'll talk about that.
We went on our Costa Rica trip 2 days after you started school, so you had already started, and then you missed.
Yeah, I went to the
first 4
4
days.
Yeah, I went to the first 3 days of class, left the third day, and then we went to Costa Rica, was out of class for Thursday, Friday, and then Monday, Tuesday, and then had to go back to class on Wednesday. And so, after we got back, I needed to work that Wednesday night. And so...
But you had school that morning and you did go.
Yeah, so I went to school that Wednesday morning, and afterwards I went to work, and... actually that Wednesday was the day that it just like all hit me.
Before you ever went to work.
Yeah, because
And that's when I noticed there was something definitely going on, and I feared you were gonna just break up with me, or, well, it's not break up, it would be divorce, but...
Yeah.
But I also knew that was a overthinking of mine, and it was not the case. It was just school all along.
Yeah. Anyway, so I went to my first class. It was probability and statistics. And once I got to class, I was just so like amazed at how behind I actually was. Like I was seeing the instructor write down everything on the board, and I was just like, what is going on? And just thoughts were running through my head, and I was just like, what am I doing? Like, why am I feeling this way? And just a bunch of emotions started coming over me, and I left class, and I was like, I have time before my last class of the day, which was a physics lab. And so I started walking to my car. I put some headphones in, started listening to music, and it just all hit me. I started breaking down, sobbing as I got to my car, and it just completely broke down, was like crying on my way home. I was like, why am I feeling like this? Why do I feel like I can't do this? Like, I shouldn't feel like that. I know school's going to be hard, and I just need to push through it. But I was like, why am I feeling all this? Why am I feeling all this emotion?
And you don't cry like that. I've never seen you cry like that.
Yeah, and I was just completely breaking down. And I was also like before school started, the summer leading up to school was just miserable, having like bad thoughts about school, and it might sound like stupid or whatnot, but then I got home and I just broke down to Jerica, and like the first thing I said to her was like, I can't do this.
Oh, no, okay. So actually, I had cried the night before.
Mm-hmm.
So we got home from Costa Rica so we live in Utah. So it's a lot of traveling. Like, it is a full, 12-hour travel day for us. And we got home around 3 a.m. and just went straight to bed. And the next day, you went to school, right? And you were, was it the next day? The first day you went back,
It was literally like the morning after we got back.
So then it's when we got home, because the day before, I remember I was laying like in your lap crying.
Mm-hmm.
And like emotion just hit me. I felt like something was off. Yeah. But I can't remember when that was. I thought it was the day before you broke down at school, but we didn't get home till 3, so maybe I'm missing a day or...
No, I think it was like right when we got back and we were getting ready for bed. I think it's that when that happened.
Okay, so yeah, when we got home at 3 a.m., yes, because you were going back to school the next day, and I just knew, like, I'm about to lose him to work and school, and we're never going to see each other, but I know you have to do that. That was that's what you wanted to do. That's what you were going to school for, was for us, and I knew that. So it was just me being a little bit selfish, like, man, I'm going to lose out on all this time, and I have to get used to being, like, by myself again after all this summer we've been together every minute of every day. But I also felt like something was off, and I just broke down to you. And I didn't even explain to you how I felt. I literally just looked at you and said, give me just a second to let this out. I don't know what it is, but it needs to come out. Yeah. So I just bawled. And then, so the next morning you went to school and I was off. And I was just laying in bed watching TikTok. Like, I was totally fine. And then all of a sudden I just started sobbing. I was like, there's just something off. There's like something I'm getting that I'm not getting told, or not that you're hiding anything, but like low key you were kind of hiding that you felt that way. Mm-hmm. And so I feel like I just picked up on your energy and was like, there's just something's going on. And so for whatever reason, I was like, I have such a bad feeling he's going to like want to divorce me. Like, I don't know why, because he didn't show any signs of like, I don't want to be with you. It was just like me overthinking. And the second he walks in after this breakdown in his car, he walked in, and I had literally just stopped crying maybe 20 minutes before he got home, because I saw the little notification that you left. And I was like, oh, I gotta like clear myself up. Like, I don't need to be crying again. And so you walked in, and your first words, first you're just crying. And I was like, what's wrong? What happened? Are you okay? What's wrong? And like, you were crying so hard you couldn't speak. And finally, when you spoke, you said, I'm so sorry, but I can't do this anymore. And I was like, oh no. Like, I like hyperventilated for a second and didn't really say much. And then I was like trying to get out of you. I was like, what can't you do anymore? What's going on? What happened? And you were just like, it's school. And I was like, oh, like, goodness. Oh my God.
So but he lifted all your shoulders.
But it also broke my heart to watch you cry like that over the way school is making you feel. And when we talked it out, we both decided that is just not where you were meant to be. And there's so many more options for you because you're so talented. And
thank you. Thank you.
he's over here doing like tattoos on the side for friends and just kind of learning tattooing. And you just have so much more potential than school. And I know we can make it without you having to go to school.
Yeah.
Because that was another fear of yours. You were like, I'm doing this to build our future.
Yeah. And, like, with school, like, it's not like I didn't want to learn or anything. Like, I love learning, but for me, school, like, the pace that they go at, like, having to take tests and just, like, deadlines.
Literally
and just,
having to use ChatGPT just to stay afloat at school was
just
crazy.
not good. Like, I used...
No, because you're not learning anything, really.
Yeah,
you're
like,
just kind of cheating to get past.
Yeah. And, like, it's not good to use ChatGPT for everything, and that's what I ended up doing, and it just set me even more far behind. So, like, if you're in school... Don't use ChatGPT unless it's for GE classes. I'm just kidding. No.
Like, I get it. Use it sometimes because,
Right.
I mean, when you're really stuck, like, that is a dang helpful app. But,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even use it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also not in school or need it for really anything.
My mom and dad have been using AI chats to help them with a lot of stuff. Like,
Your mom?
yeah. Like, she's
Recently.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was going to say, she did not like that stuff before.
No, yeah.
You kind of had to get her into it.
Shunning on it so bad, and then I told her about it one day, and she was like, she asked me like a month ago, she was like, can I get your login for ChatGPT?
Oh, do you have to pay for it?
Yeah, the 4.0
Oh.
version. I mean, they have a free version, but the paid version, you're able to do like, you can make pictures with it and ask more complicated questions, basically.
Oh.
And so, like, there's an advantage of having ChatGPT 4.0. But where were we?
Don't cheat in school with ChatGPT the whole time.
Yeah.
Really try.
Yeah, try your best. Try and do it by yourself. I know school can be very discouraging at times. School, at least for me at the moment, is not for me at the moment.
Yeah.
Who knows? I may revisit it in the future, but just, yeah, right now it's just not it.
That's how this started.
Yeah.
And you really, the next day, had everything we needed to just start a podcast. And here we are.
Yeah.
It's been like a week.
Oh,
Or, well, it's been 2 weeks, but we've also been kind of learning how these things work.
yeah, I
And
had somewhat of a big learning curve trying to get this all to work together with Audacity.
but hey, you're still learning without being in school.
Yeah. No, but okay, so back to when we got back from Costa Rica. So I went to work after I broke down. I was like, I gotta cheer myself up, like, think happy thoughts, think happy thoughts, think happy thoughts.
Yeah.
And so I got to work, and immediately my first day back, they were like, all right, you're gonna train this girl. I was like,
First day back, you
what
just
the
had
heck? Like,
went through all these emotions with school, literally dropped out. You didn't say that, but you did end up dropping out right after that, and then went to work.
well, I didn't like drop out. I put in an application to drop out, and then that has to go through a whole process or whatever. But yeah,
basically, yeah.
Anyway, so I was like, oh great, and so main reason why I don't like training people is because I just have to go on and on and on and on and on, and I end up just not stop talking. My mouth gets super dry. If they're a cook who doesn't learn well, it just gets really super tedious. Like this other guy, like a week ago,
Yeah.
that was just
Different story.
I was going bonkers. Anyways, so
well, so you know everything. Like, we work at a restaurant, and we are both cooks at the same restaurant, actually. So we do work together, but like not all the time, I guess.
yeah. I mean,
I just want to explain that because you start saying that, and I was like, they probably don't even know where we work or what that means.
Yeah. I mean, we worked together for a really long time, and I feel like we do work pretty well together. There are some off and on times, but overall, I feel like we do work really well together.
It's never drove a wedge in between us or anything. But yeah,
Not at
basically, we are both trainers at this job, and it's a lot, and it had
Yeah.
to have been a lot after having a really rough morning.
So I was training her, and this other person who was working with us, she was also training in a different zone in the kitchen. So it was a really, really slow day, and so I just ended up just kind of sitting there, and I don't like sitting there because, like, I feel like I got to be doing something, especially training someone. You don't want to set a bad example. And so I'd be going off doing stuff every time I got slow, and then every time I came back, the trainee, she had orders on her screen, and the other person was helping her with it. So eventually I was like, hey, you can train her because I'm clearly not in the,
Right state of mind to be training. Like,
well,
it just...
not really that, but like I just keep bouncing around and I just can't stay here and train her. And
Yeah.
so,
And on top of that, both of us run that whole kitchen back and forth, and there's just people that know one zone. So it's like, if you know this zone and they've worked there long enough to know how to train, I feel like with us having to bounce around everywhere, that it's necessary for these people to, like, you know, kind of help the trainee, but not leave them.
yeah.
Because being left as a trainee is so not okay.
It's not cool. You're sitting there thinking, like, what do I do now? I have questions. Help.
Yeah, and there's
Help.
nobody there. Yeah.
Anyway, so I bounced around and I got over to zone 1, which is like the fry zone. They drop all the fries and just like fried stuff and whatnot. And this other new guy, he's been working there for like, he was working there for like a week at that point. And
is it
so
the guy that talked to you?
Yeah.
I think that was his first day.
No. Because I remember before we left, I seen him on the schedule.
Oh, okay.
So he was working there for maybe like a week or so. But like the thing is, when people train, they don't train, like, they're not training them how to do the plating. And so this was his first time in zone 1 alone. And so I ended up helping him a lot. And then at one point I was like, oh, so what did you do before this? And he explained to me that he loves to do sales and stuff like that. And
it's door-to-door
yeah,
summer sales
stuff
type
like
thing.
that. And I don't know, I can't remember how we got to this part, but he was like, I actually already own a house in Texas. And I was like, what? No way. He's like,
and you were
yeah,
here?
Right? He was like, yeah, so during sales, I saved up enough money to put a 40% down payment on a house, and I'm currently renting it out to college students for like student housing in a way. And I rent each room out for like $600, and that pays for all of the expenses on the house and all that stuff. And I was like, oh, really? So how's that going? He was like, well, it's really just covering the house for now. It's not making me any money right now. But I was like, well, I mean, like, after a while, like, you'll start making that money, like, especially once you get the house paid off and all that stuff. But he was like, yeah, like, I plan on buying another house maybe in the next couple of years. I was like, dang, like, I was like, man, I need to take a page out of your book. And he was like, oh, I don't know about that. But I started explaining to him, like, I didn't really feel like comfortable telling like people that I dropped out of school because
a lot of people don't agree with things like that. But
yeah, and I feel like it's my own business in a way. But I was explaining to him that kind of like what I've been thinking, and like, oh, I've really had some ambitions. I want to start a podcast. Or actually, before I said that, I was like, oh, I do tattoos. And he was like, oh, really? And so I showed him some of my work, and he was like, wow, that's really cool. And he was like, I actually have a buddy who is doing tattoos up north somewhere. And he also does social media and stuff like that. And so he has like a GTR, and he runs his own shop because of that. And like, he's just doing really, really good. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. And like, I kind of want to start a podcast. And he was like, oh, really? That's so awesome. Like, you should definitely do that. I would love to listen to that. I feel like that'd be so interesting. And he just
little does he
hyping
know
me
he's
up.
in the first episode. Oh my goodness.
Right?
That's so awesome.
he was like such an inspiration to start this and like to get my feet up and moving to actually like do all of this. And one of his ideas, he was like, "Oh, why don't you have a podcast where you're like tattooing somebody while you talk to them?" And I'm like, "Oh, that'd be a good idea." And so, I don't know, who knows? Maybe in the future I'll have like those wireless mics and like tattooing the person while we're doing a podcast and talking and whatnot. But that'll be in the future. Well, bit in the future. But anyway, so that I literally the next day I ordered the mics, I ordered the audio interface.
But he came home from work that night and I had made him dinner because I felt so bad. And I was like, can I make your favorite dinner for you or something? So he had to close and I ended up just like making a super late dinner. And I was like, I don't know. My mind was kind of heavy that day because of what you went through. And it broke my heart to see you that day. And, you know, so I'm just kind of at my mom's kind of mopey, like... telling my mom a little bit of stuff, and she's like trying to be there for me, but like my heart was just kind of heavy. And so I was kind of worried for you, like while you were at work. So I'm like, man, he just went through this whole rough morning. Now he got to go to our work and go through that day or go through the night. And I can only imagine how that is, you know? So when he got home, I was like prepared for him to just be kind of down and upset. And he walked in with the biggest smile on his face. And I was like, yes, yes. And so you walked in and you started telling me about it. And I was just like so happy. I was like, God placed that man in your presence today.
Like it was.
Because the next day, he quit.
Yeah.
The next day. He didn't come in or something.
He texted the manager and was like, "Oh, I had opportunities coming in, and so yeah, I didn't see him other than that day."
And that was the first day back after Costa Rica.
Yeah. Oh, and that shift, I was just talking to him for the entire shift, and like by the time I knew it, it was already like 30 minutes before we closed down the restaurant, and the day just flew by. He completely shifted my mood and like my emotions and everything just kind of flipped upside down, and it was just so much more relieving and just stress free. And one of the things he brought up when he was talking about sales, he was like, I'm not religious, but like I believe in God basically. So he's like I don't go to church, and tithing is BS. He's like, I'm not going to give the church my money, but I'll sure follow God. And so he's like,
everyone has their own beliefs.
Yeah.
And
he was talking about the Bible or something in the Bible, and he was like, God said that, I really don't know the words to it, but he was like, if you have the right motivation, like things will come. But if you don't have the right motivation, like you can forget it. Like it won't come your way. And he was asking me, he was like, well, do you have kids? I was like, no, I kind of want to be in a more financial spot in order to have kids. And
that was also a really big thing on why you stayed in school.
Mm-hmm.
Because, he wanted to build our future and have money when we have kids. More than we make now, at least.
Yeah. And he was saying, like, sometimes kids are a way to have that motivation, and that's something that
sometimes that comes first.
Yeah, like that will motivate you to work hard and like support your family and stuff like that. And so I was like, wow, like
that also doesn't mean we're trying for a baby right now.
No, but
for more like explanation on us, I'm 21, Andre's 22. So, I mean, we are still pretty young, but we've also been married for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
And have been together for 5. We met in high school. I was 15 and he was 16.
Yep.
That's crazy.
That's pretty crazy.
Well, actually, I had just turned 17. We just started talking when I was 15.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this story started, and like, that man was placed in my life for a reason. And I came home and I told Jerica, like, I was basically talking to an angel or higher power. Like, he told me exactly what I needed to hear. And I was just so grateful that he was there that night and I was able to talk to him, because it just completely shifted my mood. And it really, really, really blessed me.
And the next day I went to work and I came home and he was like, I just ordered everything we need to start this podcast. And I was like, I love that. Like, you're so serious and I'm glad. And I feel like you're going to put your whole foot into this podcast.
I want to. Like, even if it takes...
And I've always wanted to too, but I just, I get nervous and I don't show my face on camera very often. Like talking, you know?
Yeah.
Or, I mean, I guess we're not on camera, but at the same time, like, talking is hard.
Yeah.
And so I'm, like, kind of overcoming one of my, like, insecurities.
Yeah.
Which will be really nice.
Me too, because, like, for the longest time, I've been just so soft-spoken and so introverted. Like, I don't even know how I snatched you with how introverted I was.
It was me.
Yeah, you snatched me.
And I was scared.
Yeah.
But I saw you and I was like, he's cute.
I'm glad you made your move. But, yeah.
And I'm glad. Well, for the first couple of months of our relationship, I was very...
scared of me.
Yeah. Distant. Didn't really want you to touch me. Like, hold my hand or anything. That sounded crazy. I meant, like, hold my hand or, like, put your arm around me.
Yeah.
I have no idea. But you stayed. Like, you know, you worked through that. And I know it was hard. But, like, one day something clicked and I just, like, couldn't go a minute without you.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want this. Because there for a few months I was like, do I want this? Am I sure I'm ready for a relationship? Because I was only 16.
Yeah.
But, yeah. And Andre was my first boyfriend. And here I am now married.
First official boyfriend.
Yep.
Let's go. Let's go.
I feel like they could get to know us.
Yeah.
No?
How so?
Me or you first?
You first.
Me first?
If you got it on your brain.
Kinda.
Say it.
Kinda. I just want them to get to know us so that, you know, they know, like, they don't just know us by Jerica and Andre. They know, like, oh, they're like 21, blah, blah, blah. So, my name is Jerica. I'm 21. I work at a restaurant. I won't disclose the name of it. But,
Yet.
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 Yeah, yet.
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 Yet. I'm sure it'll come out eventually.
Yeah.
But just not while
Things are
we're
changing.
currently working there. So.
Yeah. This is something you wanted to do, but I knew in my head if I ever start a podcast, it was solely because of my two favorite podcasts.
Yeah.
Which is the You Should Know podcast and the Cancel podcast.
Not really Cancel podcast. I don't listen to them. But the You Should Know podcast. Peyton and Cam. Such a big inspiration for me. Like.
Yeah. Well, cancel. Maybe I shouldn't say canceled because there's a lot of canceling happening on that podcast right now.
Yeah.
And it was really the You Should Know podcast that I feel like really inspired you, at least.
Yeah.
And we saw them live, and that was so amazing.
So awesome.
And, like, I feel like it kind of helped you the way Peyton explained how he got where he is. But not, like, all the intricate details, but, like, this is what I started out as. And here I am now, like, in front of all of you, my fans.
That's what I was going to say earlier. I was going to say, like, no matter how long this podcast takes, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, like,
just keep it going.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just work hard towards it and never give up.
like, even for memory's sakes, like, just going back and listening to all of our stories, like...
Yeah. That's what I'm excited about. I have so many good stories.
Yeah. You got all of the tea.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely all of the tea.
Oh, yeah.
I hear it, and I'm like, oh, she probably already knows this, and I don't tell you, and then...
And then
like, why didn't you tell me? And I was like, oh, I thought you knew it already.
Yeah, all of a sudden you'll say it, and I'm like, what? When? Where? Huh? And you're like, oh, you don't know? I'm like, no. Because when you get told stuff, you don't tell me.
I also forget about it.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't retain that kind of information. But you're a...
Because I get
you're
spicy
a filing cabinet, right?
But I'm not part of the tea is the thing. I'm not the drama. I just hear the drama, and I'm like, babe, listen to what I heard today. Huh?
I said, you're nosy as hell, low-key. Honestly, me too, though. Like, I want to know what's going on everywhere.
I think a lot of people are nosy.
Well, yeah.
Like, you want the tea, you just don't want to be part of the tea.
Yeah. I feel like that's how everybody is. Well, I don't know. There's some people who want that crazy lifestyle and all that. But
the thing is, think about it. It's not that I'm nosy, just people feel really comfortable telling me more than they should sometimes.
Yeah, we're very trustworthy.
Yeah. And I don't take it anywhere but you.
Yeah. I'll tell you everything that I hear.
Yeah.
Unless I forget about it.
So I guess, like, but in some ways, like, I'll overhear conversation and I'm like, what did I just hear?
Right.
Like, hello?
Mm-hmm.
I gotta go tell Andre, but that's as far as it goes.
Even if they're like, oh, don't tell Andre this. You're gonna be
That's actually so stupid for you to, like, anybody to tell me.
Or me.
Don't tell Andre? Like, are you stupid?
Yeah. Someone said, don't tell Jerica. Too late. I already told her. She already knows, actually. The second you told me, she already knows. Yeah.
She knew before me.
Somehow.
She figured it out through someone else.
Telepathically connected through the ears.
Imagine, like, my day off, you're at work, and I can just hear everything that's going on. That'd be crazy.
That would be pretty wild.
That would be nosy.
Yeah.
That's the thing, though. I don't want to just start out giving, like, stories. Just, like, little stories of, like, how we got here and eventually get into my...
Y'all gotta wait for the juicy stuff.
Spicy stuff.
We got juicy stuff coming up in the future.
Oh, yeah.
Don't know how far along in the future, but in the future.
I mean, I could say the Costa Rica trip since it was just now. I feel like I want to talk about it because it came up quite a bit throughout your story of how you got here.
Yeah.
And boy, was it a rough trip for me.
Uh-huh. I mean, excuse me, not for the first little bit, but after day 2.
Yeah.
It was a bit rough for you.
Well, to start off, we usually, ever since I met Andre, his family, let me explain that my family is a split family. Like, my parents are not together anymore.
Your family's a 180 from my family.
Yeah. So,
your
like,
parents are completely different from my parents.
Yeah. My parents are not together anymore. And his are. And the family dynamic is, like, very different. So his family usually goes on a summer, like, family trip.
Just like a yearly trip.
Yeah.
I mean, we have for the longest time. Well, I mean, not... I think it was like a 2-year break from a family trip, was it? Or just like 1 year off?
Last year we didn't go anywhere.
Last year, but the year before that we went to California, right?
Did we? Because we went to California. Well, 2 years ago we went to California for our honeymoon. Did we go twice that year?
No.
I don't think
because we went on 2 vacations that 1 year. Remember, we went on our not honeymoon, our anniversary trip, and then we went on my family's vacation to that one place that did not have AC.
Oh.
So we had that really good dinner, and there was like beanbag, like, what was it?
Was it the
cornhole in the backyard? Remember that?
Yes. Wasn't that last year then? Because that was our first. Well,
I don't think
that was our first anniversary, and then this year was a little different because
that wasn't last year. I swear. I think it was
Anyways,
the year before that.
basically you go on a family trip usually, and that just doesn't happen in my family ever. Like, first time I ever went to California, I was 17. No, I was 16, which isn't a crazy age because some people never get to visit like a beach or go on a plane until they're a lot older. So I went to California for the first time with my sister. Besides the point, you go on family vacations, and this one happened to be our first out of country trip because the trips before was California, and I think that's it.
Yeah.
We've only ever went to California
Together.
Yeah. And so we found out in May. I don't know, when your mom told us, like, because your mom was like, oh, like, me and the girls were going to go on, like, a girls' trip to Costa Rica, but then your dad was like, well, I want to go too.
That was, like, right when, not school started.
Ended.
Summer started.
Yeah.
Right when summer started, because we were at a pool in a lazy river, and somehow, or my mom brought it up, is that
she was going to take the girls, which is, so your two sisters, on a
trip to Costa Rica.
Just to have like mommy-daughter time. But then your dad was like, well, I want to go. Yeah. And so then that's when she was like, if you guys want to go, like, you're more than welcome to. Like, this is how much it'll cost, blah, blah, blah. So
yeah,
this was going to be my first out-of-country trip. And it was not Andre's first time because he's been out of the country to Peru
and France.
Yeah.
And then when I was really, really young,
because he is half Peruvian, so
Puerto Rico.
So you've been out of the country. Yeah. You've had your passport and stuff. Well, anyways, I feel like I'm giving little tiny details that don't need to be, like,
that's fine
in it, but
that's okay.
You can put it in. I don't care. We got our passports and then immediately started saving for this trip. And it was a lot of hard work, but we earned the money for it.
I made like $1,000 in just tattoos during the summer. We got a random ass check from the bank that she was financing her car through.
Yeah, because we refinanced it and got the money for it.
Your mom blessed us with the last bit of money that we needed.
So yeah, so she comes into play because I was struggling a little bit with the last part of because it was $1,200 to go. His mom really knows how to like budget a trip, so she was like, "This is how much it'll be." And so
a lot of different places.
I had the first $600 from getting taxes back, so I was able to give her that first part like right away. But then after that, it kind of like wiped me out. So I was like working a lot, and I didn't donate. Plasma. I didn't donate plasma, but
your mom donated.
That's because No, she can't do that. She was gonna donate and then give me the money for it.
That's what I meant. It's like she donated and then gave you the money.
Yeah, but she couldn't donate because she was just not feeling good. And every time we would try to go, she just like was sick that day or had a doctor's appointment or whatever happened. My mom's totally fine. Like, she's not like sick. She just has her days. And so I was kind of stressed, and I was explaining that to her, but not in a way of like, oh, I need money. Oh, I want money or anything. It was just kind of like me talking about my stress to my mom because that's my mom. And so she told me, she was like, I know we would have made $550 if we would have donated, but she was like, obviously we can't do that now because it was a promotion. So if we would have started when I was stressing out, I wouldn't have finished the promotion because we would be in Costa Rica. Yeah. So I was like, I don't want to do that to myself because I could use the money when I got back. So I'm just going to work extra shifts, work extra hours, and just get the money that way. Well, she was like, well, what if I just give you the $550? And I was like, from donating? Like, are you going to donate while I'm gone? Or she was like, well, no, because I don't want to donate unless you donate. So I'll just give you the money. And I was like, what? Like, what? I was like, you don't have to do that. Like, I can make the money. I'll have extra spending money. Like, don't worry about me. And she was like, well, this is what I want to do. It's not like, this is my choice. I want to give you the money. So she blessed us with $550, which paid my, part of my last part of the payment to your mom, and had some extra spending money out there. So that was absolutely amazing of my mom to do that for us. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we were just kind of getting blessed in little ways, and it was really, really cool. But
we saved up enough money. So we got our passports, and it was a lot easier than way back when we were supposed to go on a wedding to Mexico. My friend was like, oh, get your passports, and he made it so much more complicated than it actually was, and yada, yada,
and then
yada.
We get it done with your mom, and it was literally
like a 10-minute thing.
Process, and they made it seem so hard, so that's why we kind of gave up trying to get it the first time, because we were like, this is a lot, and I don't even think we'll get it in time. But
it was just so much easier doing it this time, and
we got it. I got mine 2 months before the trip, thankfully, and I had done it a month before that, so they were really quick about it. Anyways, it is the day that we're going to leave for Costa Rica.
Yeah.
Everything was super fine. This is the second time I had been on an airplane. The first time was a 40-minute flight from Vegas to California.
Yeah, rode Spirit Airlines, and
Spirit Airlines.
The worst plane I've ever rode in. No, it wasn't really that bad. Honestly,
I thought it was fine because it was my first plane. I was like, oh, this is what planes are. Cool.
It was like sitting on foldable chairs.
It totally was.
On the plane.
Totally
they were like
was.
so bare minimum. But I mean, it got us back safely.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah. Okay, well, a little backstory. We had one carry-on and a personal luggage, right? Not luggage, but like a personal bag. So like a backpack plus a carry-on. And I am an overpacker. Like, if it's a 3-day trip, I need 13 outfits, 4 pairs of shoes, 15 underwear. Like,
oh my gosh, it takes her so long.
I overpack. Get ready, yeah. Well, then I take my makeup too, and your mom's like, I don't know if I take makeup, and everyone was like bullying me about it, and I was like, well, I want to look good for like something, you know, like I want to have a face.
Face of makeup. Yeah, that sounds right. Face of makeup. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I want my hair done because I was also like, well, I need like my straightener. Like that's my baby. I straighten my hair all the time. And so they were like, well, you've got to pack light. Like think about what you may want to bring home. And so I did pack light, but it was full. It was full. Brought my makeup, my straightener, and got kind of bullied for it.
And when I packed,
guess what?
I only filled up like my suitcase, my carry-on suitcase, and once we were like 30 minutes before we left, I was like, what else do I pack? I was like,
nothing in your backpack. I was like, here, pack some of my stuff in there. And
so I ended up taking her bag of liquids and maybe like a hoodie that I didn't even use in Costa Rica.
Yeah.
Or not. So
yeah,
I had a lot of space left. I packed really light. I packed maybe like 5 shirts, 3 pairs of shorts, 2 pants. And I didn't even use all of that.
Neither did I. Actually, all the clothes that I took, I didn't use all of it either. And I absolutely regret wearing sweats on the plane there. It was way too hot. Because you're just like so close to people. So you're getting body heat on top of just...
I was like sweating the entire way there and then cold as shiz on the way back.
No, me too. But
you know,
we'll get there. Why I was cold. Also, I did use my straightener every single day while I was there.
Did your hair get frizzy by the end of each day?
No.
No? Really?
I mean, maybe not. Okay, well, it's not going to be like here because we're not humid out here.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't assume it was
desert.
But in my thought process was, if I get out of the shower and just brush my hair is going to be everywhere because of the humidity. And then I would have just looked wicked. So, anyways, I'm an overpacker and I had to pack light, and it was my first time having to pack light, and it was hard. But I did it, and kinda, you had to take some of my stuff. But we get to the plane, or we get to Vegas. Everything's great. I'm kind of nervous. This is only my second time, and this time it's a 3-hour flight, and then we landed in Texas and had an overlay of 5 hours.
Yes.
And then a 4-hour flight to Costa Rica. So, like, we were traveling the whole time, and I was really nervous about...
Yeah, we had, like, a solid 14 hours of travel.
Yeah.
Including the time we left our place to the time we got to the airport. And, well, we got to the airport and had to wait how many hours? Like 2 hours?
Like an hour and a half. It wasn't... Because we had to get through... We had to get through...
TSA.
Yeah, TSA, so...
Security.
And that was...
Oh my gosh. I hate the TSA.
Oh,
that was
if
so
we ever
stressful.
fight, we never fight. And if we fight, it's because neither of us are moving fast enough in that TSA line.
Of TSA.
Yeah.
That's the reason why.
Yeah. No, literally. Like,
but, oh my god.
And then we get through it, and I'm like, I'm so sorry, but that is the most angry. Like, that's how, like, it just makes me so angry to beat through that thing.
No teamwork between us. It was like, Joe, go, hurry. You're not doing it fast enough.
And then he's pulling out his iPad because you have to pull out all the electronics. My iPad's buried in my bag, and I'm pissed off because I have to keep moving while trying to get this stupid iPad out of my bag, and it's just not working. But anyways, that just is not for us. TSA line is not for us.
Hated it. Hated every second of it.
Oh, yeah. So... But it wasn't terrible on the way there because I was able to wear easy shoes to take on and off.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we waited an hour and a half. We landed in Texas, found out they have Mr. Pibb there, my most favorite. Like, I love Dr. Pepper, but that off-brand of Dr. Pepper is elite.
Pibb Extra.
And...
So good.
Oh, yeah. So I got a bottle of that, and... This is like 3 a.m. Or it was Texas time. It was such a time difference between Vegas and Texas. So I don't actually know what time it really was. But either way, whenever we landed, we had that 5-hour overlay. And I got the drink. And then slept until we had an hour to board. And little did I know... That was the last Dr. Pepper I would be drinking for the next 5 days. And I am a Dr. Pepper fiend. I drink it every single day.
Even though you know you shouldn't.
And I know I shouldn't. Terrible for my teeth. Terrible for just... It's so sugary. It's so bad, but it's so
I'm sure there are many people
good.
out there that understand the Dr. Pepper addiction.
Oh, yeah.
But it's bad.
Oh, yeah.
It's
but
bad.
Little did I know that was going to be my last Dr. Pepper for 5 days. And didn't know it yet. But we get on the plane. Well, no, we had to go through, at this point, when we got to Texas, did we go through customs when we got there or when we were getting ready to board?
You go through customs when you enter in a new country.
When we got to Costa Rica, you're right. So then we got on the plane, landed in Costa Rica, and got through customs. Everything was fine. Yeah, getting there was really easy. Then we got to the car rental place, and we started heading to the Airbnb that we got, which was an hour and a half away. So not only was it 14 hours of flying and overlays and everything, but then we get there and it's another hour and a half to our Airbnb. We're all pissed off. Everyone's tired. Everyone is sick and tired of traveling. No one has laid down.
Yeah.
And this is all in the middle of the night.
Trying to
We
fall
left
asleep
at
in an
midnight.
airport is a chore. I could not.
I couldn't either. And your mom's like, these are the best pillows, which they were, but oh my gosh, I could not sleep, even on the plane.
I was
Or,
so
no.
tired I would be falling asleep, like standing up.
Sorry, I did miss a part. When we did get on our first plane, so it was at midnight in Vegas, and we get on the plane, and we get the very, very back seats. And luckily, we get the whole line. It's 6 of us, and we're in the whole back 6 seats.
Very, very
very,
last.
very back.
Yeah.
Well, I get my neck pillow out, I get my blanket out, get all comfy, and the freaking flight attendants were talking to each other
just yapping and yapping.
so loud. I was like, man, I need to sleep.
They had no regard for the people who were trying to sleep on this flight at all.
No, and I was getting so frustrated, and there's just people in and out of the bathroom, and like it was awful. That first flight was awful, but it wasn't the worst. Anyway, so we get to our Airbnb, and everyone just kind of over it. And okay, so wait, on our way to the Airbnb, we went to a store, and that's when I found out I don't think Dr. Pepper exists here. Like, all I'm seeing is Fanta and Coke and...
Yeah, that's like all that they had. They had
and
like...
Red Bull.
Yeah. They had like some Monsters. Their main thing was Coke. There was like Coke everywhere. Like no... Like,
and
you
Fanta.
Couldn't go anywhere without seeing Coke and Fanta. They had like grape Fanta, orange Fanta, and then like some special type of Fanta that kind of tastes like Inca Kola, but like a strawberry version of Inca Kola. If you've never had Inca Kola, you gotta try it. It's like bubblegum soda.
Isn't it Peruvian, though?
Yeah, it's Peruvian.
Like, it's like the Peruvian Coke, technically, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, Peru still has Coke, but like their Inca Kola, like it's so popular in Peru.
Yeah.
It's so good.
That being said, if you like Dr. Pepper, I would definitely pack that in your bag if you want it.
You can't even take it through TSA.
A bottle?
You can't take any liquids over...
When you buy it? Because I bought my bottle of Dr. Pepper after TSA. And then I took it on the plane.
Oh yeah, but
that's crazy, I guess.
You're right.
You'd have to buy it, I guess, when you get in TSA. So, yeah, guys, don't listen to me.
Because then you're spending an arm and a leg
yeah, so never mind.
Bottle.
Literally don't listen to me, because it was $4 a bottle in that vending machine.
The country. Well, yeah, you couldn't even carry it into the country because you have to go through security again.
Oh, then you lose your stuff. Yeah.
Anyways,
now we get to the Airbnb, and we pretty much, I think we kind of just gave it a tour and then just went to bed.
Everybody crashed and went to sleep.
And it was like 7 p.m. Well, it was like 8 or 9 p.m. Right?
When we got there?
Yeah. No, because it was still light outside.
Yeah. We got there and it was like
5 or 6.
Something like that.
Because it was dark when we got there, and it gets dark by 5 or 6 around this time of year in Costa Rica.
Yeah, which is crazy because it completely messed up our sleep schedule.
Oh yeah, I was getting tired at like 6 p.m. It was weird, and it's the same time zone as Utah.
Right
yeah. Yeah, we just went to bed, and the next 2 days were excursions, and the first day it was supposed to be all 6 of us. The second day it was just supposed to be Andre and his dad, but plans changed, and I will explain that after the first day. So the first day we wake up, and we also went to bed early because we had this excursion thing at 10 a.m.
Yeah, and the place was like a good 40 minutes away.
Yeah, like 45 minutes away. So we had to get up kind of early and be ready for that.
And what our excursions were, they were ziplining and horseback riding.
Which I had never ziplined. I have went horseback riding, but what we did was really, really fun.
Oh, yeah.
When we got there, we immediately geared up for ziplining. Mm-hmm. I was really nervous, but it ended up being so much fun.
Yeah.
And
it was the thing was a total of 10 zip lines, and so they geared you all up. They put on the little like leg waist strap, and then they put on like the shoulder straps, and then they gave you a helmet. And then we took this tractor all the way up this huge mountain and got to the first point. They explained everything to us. And we got on the first one. They were like, the first 3 are pretty slow. The number 6 zip line is really slow. You can like hang upside down and whatnot. And then,
Which I was me and your mom were the only ones that did that because none of you guys did.
I had glasses on. I didn't want to do that.
Oh. Yeah, I thought you just didn't want to do it because you were like, you guys were kind of nervous about it, which I was too. But I was like, I'm in Costa Rica for the first time. I'm going to take advantage of anything I can.
Yeah.
And I'm going to hang upside down on the zip line. And we got such good pictures too because they take pictures for you. And then you get to see them later. But
So we go through the first few zip lines. It was super, super awesome. You had like gloves on. You have to like sit a certain way with your right hand on your like harness, and then like your left hand on your harness, and then or one of your hands on the harness, okay, and then your dominant hand up on
the back side.
line. And you have gloves on that have like a leather like grip in the middle, so you don't burn your hands off and whatnot. So you have to like lean the opposite way that your dominant hand is holding onto the wire, and you go down. And once you get to the next one, they'll unhook you and hook you back onto the other one, and then tell you when to go when it's ready.
Yeah. And if you don't know what ziplining is.
Yeah.
Which I didn't, so.
Me either. But yeah, super, super fun.
Yeah. It was really fun.
The fast zip lines were kind of scary. Like,
kind of scary, but it was like just so fun. Like you're just flowing through the wind.
It wasn't really scary. It was mainly the very end of it when you were like coming in real quick.
Oh, because you had to like stop yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that part was a little scary, but super, super fun overall. 10 out of 10. Would do it again.
Yeah, same. Right after that, they give out like fruits and give you a second to just kind of take in what you just did. And we get our fruit cups and we're just eating our fruit. And these monkeys are just there. Like they just have wild monkeys that just doesn't happen here. And it was just crazy to see. They're just roaming, getting in the trashes, eating people's food that they didn't eat. Like they had a mind of their own for sure. And I even got a picture with one of the monkeys. I wasn't holding it, and it wasn't touching me, but from afar. I got a little picture with them.
They're little fiends for food.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to steal everything.
And people be feeding them when there's a big old sign that says, don't feed the monkeys.
Don't feed the monkeys.
Then after that, we went on... Well, actually, we ate food, and their food's very different from ours. And I'm pretty picky, but it was good. And then after that, we went horseback riding. And we went... How far do you think it was? Like, how far was the... It was quite far.
Maybe like 1.5 miles, almost 2 miles to... Like, it was like I don't know what to call it, like a private little water pool, natural water spring, I guess.
Yeah.
I think that's a right name for it or whatnot. Yeah, so like a natural water spring. And so we went up it, and I jumped in, or like I got in. I didn't jump in. I got in because we all like brought our swimming suits and whatnot.
And that's what it was for.
Yeah.
They encouraged you to get in the water and like really experience it. That's one thing I didn't do though, because I was sweaty and sticky and the humidity was just, and then the fact of like, my thought was like, if I get in the water and I get out, I'm going to be sticky, humid, sweaty, and I have to get back on the horse. And that's just like to me was just an icky thought. I was like, I don't know about all that. Loved the sight, but I think I'll just skip this one out. But it was fun.
The water really was so nice though. My mom jumped in, my dad jumped in, Kaylee and Beza got like halfway in.
Which is the sisters.
Yeah. And after that, we rode back down. They gave us some more fruit.
Gotta watch some monkeys again.
Do you remember what your horse's name was?
Carmelo.
Your horse was always trying to get in the front.
Oh my goodness, yes.
No matter what, he was in the front of the line.
Is they get me on this horse, right? Well, they get your mom on a horse first, and they like line us up so we can get a picture before we like go. And your mom gets on the horse first. She gets put in the spot to take this picture, and I'm next. So I get on the horse, and they put my horse right next to her horse, obviously, to get the picture. And they were explaining to me, they were like, they had to stay by my horse because my horse apparently did not like to be standing next to other horses. Walking wise, it was fine. Like it didn't bother the horse that other horses were walking in front and behind him. But he hated horses on each side of him. So anyways, we got the picture and then we started, and my horse just wanted to be the leader. And I'm sitting there thinking, oh man, I wish I could just be back there with Andre. Like this would be kind of a cool experience to walk next to each other. Was not going to happen. I'd be like 4 horses back and make it into the front. And then the lead, like the park person that was like leading us to this area. Yeah. My horse was trying to get in front of that horse. And the what are they called? Like just the person that works there was like having to push my horse back. Like, stop going in front. I was like, man. But it was fun.
Yeah. I can't remember what my horse's name was. All I know is that in English, the horse's name meant rabbit. That's all I know.
It was something in Spanish, obviously.
Yeah.
But I only remember mine because it was like a caramel color. And that's an easy name to remember.
After all that, all of our butt bones were sore as hell.
Oh my gosh, it was so bad. So bad.
I was like flexing my butt the whole time.
So was I, just to like
my butt wouldn't
less
hurt
pressure.
really bad afterwards.
Yeah, when we got back, we got more fruit from that excursion, and then we kind of just watched the monkeys and took our time. Mm-hmm. And then we headed back to the Airbnb and got ready for a dinner. Yeah, that's what we did. Got ready for a dinner.
Did we make dinner that time, or was it?
No, it was the next. No, it was that night.
Yeah,
we did. We did make dinner.
Like beef, chicken, potatoes.
Oh, so that's when first time we went
mashed
out.
Beans in a bag.
The first time we went out to eat was the day we got there. So we went to dinner, came home, went to sleep. That's what it was. Yeah. I knew we were missing something, but not really a cool detail. Just us eating.
Big old plate of nachos the first night.
Yeah, I had a shrimp fried rice or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we had dinner that night after our excursions, and that was super yummy. We were trying to eat it outside, and after 5 p.m. when it gets dark, every gigantic bug comes out. All of them. And there was this like, June bug? Or no, cicadas. What was it?
Something like that. I don't know.
One of just a big beetle.
Yeah.
And they were just kind of everywhere. And me and his sister Beza were like, I don't know if I want to eat out here. Like, there's a lot of big bugs. And his family was like, well, all the food's out here. Like, let's just try and eat out here. I sit down and I lift my plate. Gigantic spider. And I said, I'm not eating out here.
Yeah, Beza and Kaylee, they were like, nope. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I was like, I saw that spider and I was like, Yeah, mosquitoes.
So many mosquitoes.
Yeah. Bugs out there are so different from where we are.
Centipedes, millipedes, everywhere.
Yeah.
There was mini geckos in our house on the ceiling.
And that's normal.
Yeah.
Like that just happens.
I mean, geckos are fine. They were really cute. But everything else.
It's like, yeah. And they're big bugs. Yeah. Like we think we have big bugs here. But anyways, we eat inside. That was the end of that night. Well, no, we got in the pool afterwards. And then all of a sudden I start thinking, I'm like, man, because the next day was the excursion for Andre and his dad. And it was not scuba diving. It was snorkeling.
Yeah.
It was snorkeling. And I was like, nah, like I don't want to get in the ocean and do that. That's crazy. Mm. But
your main thing was your ears because you have like previous problems with your ears.
Yeah, and if I get water in my ears, like it's a whole fiasco. So I was like, I could go, but then there's a potential of getting water in my ears, and then that's just it for me. Like, I'm down and out the rest of the time.
Yeah,
because it doesn't come out of my ears. Like, water, it does not come out.
And what we understood was that it was just a boat ride to Isla Tortuga, which is like Tortuga Island. And then we were going to go scuba diving. And
not scuba diving, snorkeling.
Snorkeling. And that was it. And so originally Jericho was like,
I'll just stay back with my mother-in-law and my sister-in-laws. And something just came over me, and I was like, man, like, I'm in Costa Rica. Why would I not go? Like, this is like a once in a lifetime chance. Potentially. I may never experience it again. And so I was kind of talking about it, and his mom was like, if you want, like, you can go. And I was like, oh, like, really? She was like, yeah, like, I already booked them to go, but, like, in the morning, you could just see if you can get a ticket when you get there. And I was you
packed up all your stuff just in case you were able to get there or get into the thing.
Yeah, so we went to bed, and then that excursion was at 7 a.m. or 8 a.m.? It was early.
7 a.m. We needed to leave by 7.
Yeah, because it was from 8 to 4.
Yeah.
So we get there, and I'm thinking, I was asking him, I'm like, are you sure you're okay with me going? Like, if this was supposed to be like a father-son like type of moment, I wouldn't want to like step in or anything. Like, if you guys want to have that moment to yourselves, I totally understand that.
And I was like, no, well,
but both of them were like, no, like, if you want to come, like, experience it if you can, if they let you. So when we got there, they were getting their wristbands, and then we asked.
Yeah, my dad asked. He was like, she's not on it, but is it okay if we can pay for her and like it
so that she can go?
Yeah, so she can. Yeah, so that she can go. And so she was like, yeah, that's like totally fine. And so we paid for it, and we all hopped on the boat, and like we're just getting on the docks. We were seeing a whole bunch of fish next to the boats and stuff like that. That was so cool.
It was just such a cool experience because I've never been like on a boat like that,
right?
You know, so and
big old boat. It was like it was like a party boat in a way, almost like a mini yacht, but like
kind of.
Yeah, they had like speakers everywhere, a whole bunch of people. They were handing out like cups of fruit and all that stuff.
They had a mini bar in there?
No, not on the boat.
No, I thought they did.
No, they were handing out water. Oh. I know that. But yeah.
Sorry, I'm extending this story so long, but it gets so good. I mean, for you guys, not for me. So we start. When we got on the boat, we were seeing like all the fish and stuff. It was super cool just being on it. Hadn't even left yet, and I was like, this is already so cool. Like, when you get on there, like, take your shoes off, like, get comfortable, you know. They made you feel so welcomed there. Like,
everybody, like,
everywhere.
Every person you encounter in Costa Rica is just literally so nice.
Oh yeah,
so welcoming, so nice.
Not judgmental at all. Like for the people there, they're awesome. But we take off, and I have slight motion sickness. And I did bring Dramamine, but the motion sickness isn't terrible. It's usually in cars, but I found out, I guess, it's on boats too, because I got a little bit nauseous on the way there. There was this one poor girl that got so seasick and was just in and out of the bathroom throwing up, and I felt so bad. But I just noticed I was getting like a headache, and I was getting nauseous, and I was like, oh man. So I took a Dramamine, and it helped. But we get there, and
I mean, I was even getting a little seasick too.
Yeah, and not only that, they had to stop the boat a few times because it was like the waves were kind of.
No, there was a bunch of driftwood in the way, and so we just go past them really slowly.
Yeah.
So that it wouldn't get stuck in the propellers or anything.
I also felt like it was kind of a bumpy ride there. It was a little much.
No. Not really. I mean, like...
Maybe it's because I didn't realize it on the way back.
We would just be swaying back and forth because of the waves and stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh, we saw whales on the way there.
Yeah.
Because they told us, they were like, watch out for just like any animals, like dolphins or anything. And yeah, we ended up seeing 2 whales.
Yeah, that was really cool. Yeah. I barely saw them, but You got a little video of them.
Yeah, a little tiny video of.
You just barely see their tails coming out of the water.
And he like blew water.
Yeah, he did a little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we get there. I feel like I say a lot. I don't like that. I'm gonna have to fix that. I need to not say as much.
I feel like I say anyways a lot. Anyways.
Yeah, literally. So was a big one for me. We get there and we unload, and it's like a beach side, well, beach with like all these chairs on it.
Mm-hmm.
And we like pick a spot, and we didn't like. I think we were just kind of like looking at everything because holy cow, we're on an island,
getting settled
like,
in and stuff like that.
Yeah, like we're on an island. This is so crazy. Look at the view, like.
And like before we docked, they were talking about like what we were gonna be doing and stuff like that, and they were like, "Oh, there's gonna be an open bar and stuff like that," and we're like, "What?" We're like, "What? No way!"
I know.
And so we got there, we got all settled in, and they came over and like handed us drinks.
No. We lost your dad.
Yeah.
That's what happened because he went to the bathroom, but he was taking
the souvenir shop.
He was taking a minute, so we kind of went on a little adventure to find him, and then found him at the souvenir shop. But on our way to the souvenir shop, we noticed there was drinks that they had prepared.
Yeah.
And then when we walked past, they were like, "Do you want?" It was the margarita, and what was the other one? So I'm like,
it was rum punch.
Yeah,
rum punch.
And so we each picked one up, and that comes into the story because, well, it's a big part of the story. And number two, like, we drink, but not all the time, and we've never drank in front of his parents. So I was kind of like just a little
nervous.
Yeah, a little nervous.
But I mean, we brought it up to my dad in a way like, "Oh, like we're in Costa Rica, like why not?" And
yeah,
like, my parents will like drink on occasion, stuff like that. They're kind of like wine drinkers, mainly.
But they don't drink to get drunk. They drink for the taste of the drink
wine.
Specifically. But they also don't. It's not judged. It's just that's not for them, and they obviously don't want us to go down a bad road of drinking all the time because that's not good either. But so we had our first drink, and we went and got your dad, and we're on our way back to our seat.
We find my dad, and I'm like, "Oh, look, they have like free margaritas," and he was like, "Oh, really?"
Well, that's
and
what I'm saying.
Like, "Here,
on our way back,
yeah,
he stopped and got a rum punch because we were like, "What's the pink one?"
Well, like at first I tried. I was like, "Oh, look, they have drinks," and so I handed it to him. I was like, "Oh, try it," and he was like, "Oh, like it's not bad." And so we went back to the bar, and he got a rum punch, and he was like, "I like this one." Wait, did he like that one better than the margarita?
No, he started getting margaritas after that.
Oh, he got the margarita.
But I think he only had like 3 drinks.
He had like a 5.
I had 5.
No.
How many did I have?
I had like 5 or 6.
Oh, no.
My dad had like 4 or 5.
How many did I have?
You had like 6 or 7. I don't know. We got to a point where me and my dad, we were playing volleyball, and you were just sitting down, and you just kept getting handed margarita after
that
margarita.
That is true. And I was scared to say no because they were kind of like...
They were just so nice about it.
Yeah, and it wasn't forced, but it was like, "Are you sure you..."
No.
Yeah, they're like, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "Sure, I'll bring me one. Yeah. I'll drink it." So anyways, I get pretty, I would say probably drunk.
Yeah.
I was definitely not, like I was fine, but I was not being me.
Before you got a little too many drinks in you, we went snorkeling.
Oh, I only had 1 drink.
Yeah, we only had like 1 or 2 drinks before we went snorkeling.
Yeah, and snorkeling was fun. I wasn't even buzzed or anything. I was totally fine. And that was a really fun experience.
Yeah, they called us all over. We got in groups and stuff like that, and We got our life jackets, or actually before that. So they were explaining, they were like, oh, if you're a really good swimmer,
use these life jackets.
Use these life jackets.
Which you have
they
to
were like, they were weird life jackets. They were very simple. They were the ones where you're able to inflate it with a tube. And if you...
It's the ones on planes.
Yeah, like, the ones that they show you. Because, like, you can, like, blow into them and whatnot. But, so, me, Jerica, and my dad all chose to just use, like, the regular life jackets that you would use on, like, jet skis and boats and stuff like that. So, we put those on, and then we got on the boat, and then they handed us all this snorkeling equipment. And we got out to this little raft that was next to like a big old rock in the ocean. And we put flippers on. Is that what they are? Flippers, fins, whatever.
Not fins, they're flippers. I would assume.
Flippers. So we put those on. We hop in the water. And there's just so many fish around us. Like super beautiful. The water was like really murky, but...
It was also not cold.
No, the water in Costa Rica is like so nice.
Oh, yeah.
So enjoyable compared to like California's ocean, where the water is just really cold, a little hard to get used to. But yeah, so we were swimming around looking at fishes, and we come across this guy that had like a bag of like
not just any guy.
bread.
He was part of the...
Yeah, he was part of like the workers and whatnot.
Yeah.
But he had like a life preserver that he was holding on to, and he had a bag of soggy bread. And so we got some soggy bread from him, and we're feeding them to the fishes. And it was just so cool.
Yeah.
I like so many fishes graze against my hands and stuff like that.
It'd give you the heebie-jeebies because when you like look in the water, there's so many fish, but not one of them is touching you. They're scared of you.
Yeah.
But I was scared of them a little bit.
I wanted to catch
but I was like, you know what?
Bad. I wanted to grab a fish so bad.
But I was like, you know what? It's fine. They're not touching me.
They were too fast. They were too fast for me.
But yeah, so that was really fun.
Yeah, we got out after, I want to say maybe like 30 minutes or so in the water. Got out and got on the next like little boat that was taking people back to shore. We got back to shore, got a few more drinks. Did we?
That's when I started getting handed drinks and you played volleyball for a little bit. And then they all called us over for food.
Yeah. So we all got food.
I had another 2 drinks with food.
The food was super, super delicious. I really loved it. They had like
I liked it too, but I think I had just had a little too much alcohol in my system to be hungry at that point.
I think a big dish.
That sounds crazy because usually people get hungry when they're drinking, but I was just not feeling food, and so it really did not help my situation because I started drinking on an empty stomach and then didn't really eat when we got fed.
Yeah. So I think a really big food there is like meat with like creamy mushrooms on top of it because we found
really.
Like,
I thought ceviche was everywhere.
Ceviche is another big thing.
It was really good.
Yeah, Costa Rican ceviche is pretty good.
Yeah,
I like it. We ate, had some more drinks. We were in the water, and then they came around and were like, "Hey, you want to like let us know if you want to go on the banana boat ride?" And he was asking if we want to go on the slow ride or the fast ride. So I was like,
so glad
slow
we
ride.
Picked what we picked. Oh my goodness! And I'm at this point, I think I had my last drink at that point.
Yeah, because you was
nodding and stuff. Like I didn't look crazy,
no.
But I was. You could definitely tell I was drinking.
No, I don't think that was your last one because we came back, had a couple more, and we're in the water and all that.
Let's not talk about how many we had because we're both wrong. I don't know how many I had, and neither do you because I was.
I don't, but rough estimation.
Yeah.
We went on the banana boat, and on the banana boat, Jericho was saying, "Oh, I kind of want to go on the faster one," and so when we get off, or when we got off. She was like, I kind of really want to go on the faster one, and so we go up to one of the workers, and we're like, "Oh, are we able to go on the faster one?" And he was like, "Yeah, just wait for the next one to come up, and then you guys can go on the faster one." And then like before the next one came up, Jericho was like, actually that might be a bad idea because if I fall in the water and water gets in my ear, this rest of the Costa Rica trip is completely done for me." And I was like, yeah,
and I didn't need to
right.
be shaking up all the alcohol that was in my stomach already anyway.
Yeah.
I probably would have just started getting sick.
So we just sat back down at our little place and we're just chilling.
And mind you, this
got in the water, found...
took an hour to get there, so we were there from 9 to 3.
Yeah, whole experience,
Yeah,
and loved
we were
every single second
about.
of it. Unlimited free margaritas.
Yeah.
It was awesome. When we got in the water at the very end, we found like these tiny, tiny micro crabs.
And shells, like, little teeny tiny shells.
So
I'm a big shell person.
Yeah.
Any beach I'm around, if you need me, I will be finding shells.
It was a white sand beach with like a bunch of like dead coral and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that trip ended and we
get picked up.
The boat.
Oh yeah, that trip ended. Okay, yeah. We got back on the boat.
Got back on the boat.
That's a fun.
Went all the way, or we.
That's a
we
fun
were
story.
Actually able to get on like the top deck.
There's a top deck, bottom deck. We sat on bottom at the beginning.
And then,
or when we went there, and then on the way back, we sat at the top, which was a terrible idea.
for the state you were in, it was a bad idea.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get sick or anything. I was totally fine, but I had to pee.
Yeah,
many times, and I had to get down and up this ladder. Meanwhile, I'm drunk and the boat's rocky.
Yeah, because it was because you had to go up a ladder in order to get up there, and so you were already tipsy, and it was almost like a chore trying to get you up on the top deck again.
And I know those workers hated me because I went like 6 times, and it's a 45-minute ride.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they hated me. They probably got back and they were like, "Get off of my boat, dude."
You only went because you needed to go to the bathroom twice on the way back.
Was it only twice?
Yeah.
Thank God, because I thought it was way more than that. I also lost my clip and started offering everybody on the boat my gum, like
gum and mint. Oh goodness.
Yeah. We got back and his mom had picked us up, and they have a KFC out there, so that's where we ate. Mm-hmm. That was really good.
It was banging.
That was really good.
Super good.
Yeah, we get back, we eat, and we get in the pool, and his sisters are asking us how it was, and I was like, clearly you can see I had fun, and they were like, oh yeah, we knew when you got back. Like you had drank or something, and I was like, yeah, had a few more than I should have. And after that, we got out of the pool and took a shower and like went to bed by 6 p.m. Okay.
Yeah, we were exhausted.
This is where the story turns absolutely south for me. Like, this is the moment. We go to bed at 6 p.m. and we wake up around, well, I woke up around 4 a.m. because I was really thirsty, but he had just happened to wake up with me. And I was like, I'm really thirsty. So we like go get a water, and I'm feeling fine. Like, I'm obviously not feeling tipsy anymore. And we get back into the bed, and I'm, drinking my water, and all of a sudden I'm realizing like I'm having this really strong headache come on. And so like we lay back down because, man, I was still tired. Like, it was a busy day. And it, like, my headache went from a 2 to like a 9 within 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And I told him, I was like, I have the worst headache right now. Like, do you have the Advil we brought? Yeah. And he goes, no, I don't, because we got the travel size one. He's like, no, we had already taken it because we had, like, for the trip, we were having headaches and excursions, and your family needed some, and whatever happened.
About how much ibuprofen we would need for, like, headaches and all that
or
stuff. Or
whatever happens,
from, like the sun, dehydration, and all that stuff. But
so we underestimated it, but I decided, maybe if I just go back to sleep, like, it'll go away. Wrong.
Wrong. What was right here?
We then wake up at 9:30. So at this point, I've slept 14 and a half hours. Something
like that.
A whole lot of hours I slept. And I get up and this headache is even worse. And I was like, oh my God, my head is killing me. And it was so bad that I was nauseous. Well, then I walk out and I'm just like, I can't do anything. And thankfully, this was a rest day because we had so much fun the first 2 days.
Originally, you were wanting to go to the beach on
that day.
What was it? Was Sunday? Was it Sunday?
I lost track of days while we were there, so I don't know.
Yeah, because Friday we went ziplining, horseback riding. Saturday we went to
Sunday.
Tortuga Island, and then Sunday we were going to plan on going to the beach, but
everyone, not only was I not feeling good, but everyone was just kind of like, man, we just kind of want to chill here at the Airbnb. There's a pool there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we can have fun here. Well, this headache's really bad. I'm super nauseous, and I walk out to lay on the couch, and Andre had gotten up and, like, started going around the property because it was 11 acres of property, and
oh my gosh, you sweat so freaking easily. It was hot
and humid,
sticky, humid. The humidity in Costa Rica is absolutely insane. Do not underestimate it at all.
Yeah,
it's crazy compared to where we live.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
But you decided to just go out and look for fruit because we had a bunch of fruit around on the property, and they told us whatever fruit you find on the trees, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah, they had
whatever they have,
papaya trees, coconut trees, star fruit trees.
And my dream was to try star fruit when we got there.
Yeah,
because I was like, they've got to have it in Costa Rica.
We also tried guanabana. Yeah. We got that from a little shop. We also got huge avocados.
Yeah, their fruit there is
bananas,
gigantic.
What are they called? The little tiny furry looking ball sack thingies.
I don't know. A rambutan?
No.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Rambutan. I'm thinking of durian.
Yeah.
That one's like the big spiky one that smells like crap. Yeah, rambutans.
It was, that was a super crazy experience to see super gigantic fruit. But they had star fruit there. That was super cool. So I was able to try star fruit for the first time. Anyways, he just wanted to go look at the property, and I'm laying on the couch in agony. And his mom comes up to me and she's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "No, I have this terrible headache. I'm super nauseous and I don't know what's going on." And she was like, "Yeah, you're probably hungover." And I low-key could not tell her, "No, I'm not. I know what that feels like," but I kind of had to at the same time because I knew what I was going through was absolutely not a hangover. Yeah. I've had it before.
And it was 2 more times after that, she was like, "Oh, you're probably hungover."
Yeah, it kept telling me, and I was just finally I was like, I've been hungover before, and this is not what it feels like.
Yeah.
And I, at this point, had taken Tylenol twice, and it did not break my headache even a little bit. And so when Andre got back, he started making breakfast, and we had avocado toast and eggs. And I eat my food, and 15 minutes later, I threw up. And I was like, "Okay, I'm sick. I don't throw up normally. I have a fear of throwing up, so I will do whatever I can to not throw up." And I literally just couldn't hold it back this time. And it was a whole thing. And so finally I was like, something is going on. So it just kind of went throughout the day. Nothing was helping. I've tried Pepto, tried Tylenol, and not one thing would work. And so I was like, I guess I'll just deal with whatever this is, thinking it would go away the next day. And it most definitely didn't. That day, all day was just really rough. My headache was really bad. And then we went to dinner that night. Well, we got in the pool before we went to dinner. And I noticed I wasn't nauseous anymore. And my headache wasn't super, super intense, but it was still there.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, oh, okay. So, like, maybe I'm starting to feel better. Well, then we get out of the pool and we get ready to go to dinner. And we get ready, we leave, and we get to the place we're eating at.
Because I had some, like, really fancy plating, super, super awesome.
Yeah, it was super, super great. But right when we pulled into the parking lot, and mind you, not every, but most Costa Rican restaurants are called soda
shops.
Yeah.
It's like little mom pop shops, not like just like like small businesses.
But it's
small restaurants
outside, so like right when you pull up, you can see inside there, like where all the tables are.
Yeah, like none of the sodas are like indoor.
Yeah.
Restaurants, they're all like open and exposed. They just have like a covering over the top, and that's
because it rains all the time. But
yeah.
We pull up, and they're kind of like conversing about this restaurant, and I start getting nauseous again. But this time, I'm like, I might throw up again. So they're like conversing, talking about it. Should we stop here? Should we stop here? And I had to get out of the car and like lean down and I just sat there trying so hard not to throw up because I'm like, first of all, everyone in this restaurant can see me and I don't want anybody watching me have to watch me throw up right here. So I held it back and then all of a sudden I was fine again. Like totally fine. Stomach didn't hurt and my headache wasn't intense anymore. It was just mild. Got through food, but I just still wasn't feeling right. And then the next day comes, and this is our beach day, which was also super fun. We had like a 45-minute drive there. Yeah. We went to the beach.
It was a white sand beach. There was like a bunch of rocks. We were finding tide pools that had like hermit crabs, sea snails, sea slugs, some starfish.
Yeah, there's a lot of things there.
So much stuff.
Those pokey things.
Sea urchins.
Yeah.
Pokey things.
Pokey things. So that was super fun, and I got to get some shells from there. There wasn't too many, though. It
started raining, and really cool experience just being out on the beach while it was just pouring rain. But getting back into the car, though, and being all...
It was icky.
Yeah.
So icky. But while we were at the beach, we had this, like... we had a wristband, because you have to have a wristband type thing at this beach. And you got a lunch with it. So we left the beach, went to the lunch, and I just couldn't eat. Like, I was just like, I just can't eat. I'm not hungry. And my stomach's just being weird.
It was like a buffet place, and
yeah,
I really enjoyed the food. I was harping that food down,
but
I was putting it away.
Yeah, I just kind of passed up on it, and we go back to the beach. Just had more fun. That's when the rain started, and that was a super cool experience. And then we get home, and I'm sitting there just asking Andre. I'm like, what could possibly be going on with me? And he goes, what if it's no caffeine? And I was like, oh my God. That's definitely what it is. Like, no caffeine, no Dr. Pepper. And I was like, well, maybe I should get a Red Bull. Well, the last couple days we were there. Well, it was like the next day. Or the next day was the last day? Last full day? Or did we leave?
You had a Red Bull for the last 2 days of our trip, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so we talked about me not having caffeine before we went to that beach because that's the first one I had, and then I had one the next day.
Yeah.
Well, it was not helping. Mm-mm. And I was like, maybe we're wrong. Like,
I mean, it kind of helped a little bit, but
the headaches, but it never went away. The headache was there for this is now day 3 of headache, and I'm like, what is going on? Well, we get to so the last day, what did we do? Nothing? I think we just kind of...
Yeah, we were just kind of...
At the house, eating,
chilling.
leftovers and just swimming and having some family
pouring rain.
time.
Well, no, we really didn't do too much on the last day.
Yeah.
Because, they just got back, got everything packed for the most part, getting ready to leave early morning the next day. And, we headed out. We went to, we were trying to find, or Jericho wanted to really try McDonald's in Costa Rica. Because McDonald's in different countries have different food most of the time. And we got there, and we totally forgot it was still breakfast time. And so nothing really new was at McDonald's.
Yeah, there wasn't really anything that
honestly, like, their food out. Tasted a lot
better.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I got a hash brown and just a sausage and cheese muffin, and it was like 10 times better than
It just felt like not trash food.
Yeah. Yeah.
Felt like it was actually low-key not healthy, but healthier than the McDonald's in the States.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was really fun, but we get to the airport, and my headache's at like a 2. My stomach's like still being weird, but it's like not, like I'm fine. And did we have to go through? No, that's when we got to Texas. Customs, Texas, huh?
Yeah.
Right. So we board the plane at 2 p.m. We had gotten there by like 10:30. So we had to sit there for like, 2.5 hours?
Yeah, our layover... Wait.
No.
Before the flight that left Costa Rica?
Yeah. We got there really early.
We had... It wasn't that long. I want to say just like an hour and a half or something like that.
It was like 2.
Maybe.
I know we for sure were there at 11 something.
Anyways, yeah, we got pizza in the airport for Jericho. It was trash.
Because I kept thinking maybe my stomach is upset because I'm hungry or, so I was trying everything I could under the sun to not feel this way. So I was like, I'll just get a pizza before we go so that just so I didn't have to eat again while traveling. So, yeah, that was super easy and got some food, board the plane, totally fine. Then we get to Texas.
We
get off the plane. And mind you, I had to wear these platform Vans because that was one of the shoes I brought. And they were just too bulky for how much stuff I had bought in Costa Rica, so I had to wear them back home. And I'm already kind of iffy. I'm sick, but it wasn't terrible at this point. Well, we get to Texas, and we have to go through TSA. I take my shoes off.
No, we have to go through customs.
But you don't got to take your shoes off.
And then TSA to get back into the gate so that you can wait for your next flight and whatnot.
Yeah. And that was fine, right? I was kind of annoyed that I had to take these shoes off, but I already knew I had to, and I had to wear them home because that's all I, like, otherwise I wouldn't have had room in my bags. Anyway, so, we have only a 3-hour layover at this point, but when we got there, it took 2 hours to get through everything because by the time we got to where we're going to board, it was only 30 minutes until boarding.
Yeah.
So, it took forever to get through customs and everything. And we sit down and we're waiting, and all of a sudden, I just start getting so sick. Headache is super bad. My stomach's going crazy. At this point, TMI, but I was like, I need to go poop. And so, yep. So I go to the bathroom. Again, mind you, 30 minutes till we board. I'm going go to the bathroom, and I'm texting Andre, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I am not okay in here, and I don't know if I can get off this toilet. And luckily the plane was 15, 20 minutes late.
Yeah.
Or something. And so I am stuck on the toilet. Finally I get up and I get back, and about 20 minutes till boarding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had a good little while still before we boarded.
Yeah. So then I'm like, oh my gosh, they have Dr. Pepper. I gotta go get me one, or Mr. Pibb. So I gotta go get me one, but I was happy about it, but at the same time, my stomach was just so upset that I was like, is it the right thing to do? And I was like, yeah, it is. I haven't had one in 5 days. So I get that, and best first sip of Dr. Pepper ever in 5 days. I get back to our seats, and all of a sudden I start freezing, like shaking. I'm so cold, and
Oh yeah, those plane rides back were frigid. It was really
the first
cold.
one wasn't terrible for me, but the second one was bad. But I think I was running a fever.
No, because even I was cold.
Yeah, but I was hot, like on my stomach and stuff.
Yeah, I was clammy, like I was sweating, but it was cold.
I don't know. I feel like I may have had a fever though with how I felt.
Probably.
Is what I'm saying.
You probably had like a mild fever.
Yeah, and my stomach was really upset at this point. Now I have diarrhea. Don't want to say that out loud, but like low key, that's what I had. Like, and it was bad. No more throwing up. I only threw up that one time, the morning of my headache. So I'd rather it come out the other end, to be honest. I was just really super freaking cold, waiting until the plane got there. And the plane got there, and they're doing random bag checks on random people.
And
I was so super sick.
You were the last one in line, or in the line of our family boarding the plane, and I seen them doing the random bag checks, and I was like, watch Jerica be the one who gets randomly checked. And sure enough, she got randomly checked.
Sitting there, absolutely shaking, freezing, my head hurts, having issues in the stomach.
So they pull her aside.
They pull me aside. I have to take my shoes off. Mind you, they're really hard to get back on. Search every one of my bags. And I also brought seashells home with me, which you're really not supposed to do. You're not supposed to take them out of the country. But, I mean, they searched my bag high and low, and they didn't take them, so. And if they would have found them, throw them away. But anyways, I had to go through that whole thing. Then we get on the plane, and I've got my jacket on, a blanket on. Like, I'm laying on Andre. I'm, like, so uncomfortable, so cold. My back hurts, my neck hurts, my head. I'm just overall just extremely in pain. Just in so much pain. Then we land in Vegas, and I just didn't want to be there. I just wanted to be home. I was over everything. And it took forever to get through whatever we had to. Didn't we have to go through customs again? Or something sort of like it? It was kind of weird. Because remember, we got to Vegas and we were in those lines and they were checking passports again, and we had to.
No, I think that we just had to go through another little security check.
Oh.
I believe, yeah.
But it took forever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I felt like once we landed in Vegas, it took forever to get in the car.
Well, yeah, because we also had to wait for the train to bring us back to the main building or whatnot.
Then I feel like everyone started getting a little confused of where we were parked, and
yeah, people had to go to the bathroom, I think, maybe.
Yeah, and I knew if I sat down on that toilet, I was not getting back up for a minute. So I was like, I will hold this until we get home. Yeah. But so we finally get in the car. Best drive home. That was the most comfy drive home. I know. Like being in his family's car van is so comfy.
Oh yeah. Lovely, nice reclining seats. Yeah. It was nice. I fell asleep instantly. The whole drive felt like 20 minutes.
Yeah, I was asleep pretty much the whole time. I literally woke up by big shots.
That's where you woke up?
Yeah.
Huh.
And I was like, what? We're this far?
I woke up when we were turning into our house. That's when I woke up. But we got home, and then the whole thing happened where you were just kind of like, no, like, it's so sad that you're
Oh, yeah, that's when it all started.
And all that. And
I was also on the toilet again when we got home. Like, I was not good.
And then you woke up the next morning at like 6 o'clock in the morning, and then also crap your brains out.
Yeah. And it just kept happening. This is now day 4 or 5. 4.
It's been over a week since we've been back.
No. That day, I was on day 4 of this like stomach head bug thing.
Oh, when we got back.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
And so finally, I had my little moment, and then I didn't. Yeah, I did go that day. I went to.
You went to the Instacare?
Yeah, the Instacare, and they had no idea what it was.
Of
They
course.
said, we have no idea. I was like, well, I have a really bad headache that like won't go away, but it gets as much as a 9 out of 10. Or a 9 out of 10, and as low as like a 2 out of 10. Like, there's just, like, it's just not going away. And, then I'm like, before I went to the doctor, I'm looking up Google, and they're like, yeah, like, you have a brain tumor. And I'm like, what? What?
Never trust Google when you have something wrong.
I know.
It's either going to say
you have cancer or you're going to die. But I went to the doctor. They had no idea what it was. But then they decide, if your neck starts hurting, what is it called? You have
meningitis.
And he was like, and if your neck starts hurting, you have to go to the ER immediately because it's really bad.
Your neck starts hurting, or you start getting confused or something like that.
And so I was like, so either it's nothing or I'm gonna die sick. But yeah, I still to this day have no idea what happened, but I have.
You feel better though now, right? Or you still haven't? You are still having stomach problems.
No, I think I'm on day 2 of being pretty much better. I just didn't feel very good yesterday.
Oh. Okay.
Like I felt not in that way, but
I see.
Yeah. Yeah, I had not one normal shit for 2 weeks, week and a half.
And even
the headache went away after 6 days.
Yeah. I mean, even I was having a little bit of tummy issues.
Yeah.
My poops were not normal.
Yeah, and when we got home, we decided, I don't think it was caffeine. I don't think that was your issue at all. It probably had a part in it.
I mean, I'm also not addicted to caffeine as much as you are.
And you still had some stomach issues. But then, before I go to the doctor, everyone's telling me it's probably the water. You probably drank their water.
Because you're not supposed to drink the tap water there.
Yeah, I was like,
you never drink the tap water in Costa Rica.
Never. It's so bad for you.
It'll mess you up.
Because I think that's what I got is the sickness is from either the water. And a lot of people said the fruits because I've never eaten that kind of fruit. And being new to a bunch of fruits and stuff can get you sick.
I mean, you also wash the fruit in the tap water.
In the tap water, yeah. I did not think about it one bit because here you don't have to worry about that. So, yeah. But I'm pretty much 100% again. I feel like my appetite's kind of low now from all the stomach issues I went.
It is all better now.
Yeah.
Love the trip.
That was our long extended Costa Rica story, but it was I loved I loved it up until I started getting sick because after that it was just kind of I want to go home and be sick. Yeah. I don't want to be here and be sick. So
the humidity was
the water in my ears
for me, honestly.
Yeah, the water in my ears was not what ruined my trip. It was the water I drank there.
Yeah. Glad we went on vacation there. Would not live there, in my opinion.
Mm-mm.
Just for me.
And I think I'm gonna not go out of the country for a while.
Yeah.
I enjoyed being healthy. and not sick.
Yeah, we were saying that, or Beza was saying that she also lost like 10 pounds, something
No, she was 104, between 104 and 105 when we left, and she came back and was 101. Mind you, she is 19. She's so little.
How much weight did you lose?
7 pounds.
7 pounds?
7 pounds from being there.
I know I lost weight, but I don't know exactly how much.
And I only knew because I went to the doctor and they have to weigh you.
Yeah. But yeah, that was our extended version of our Costa Rica trip. Actually, I guess shortened down version because...
I know, you got a pretty extended long version of it.
Yeah.
Pretty much everything we did.
All the details. Yeah. Kind of. Ready to sit and play some Fortnite.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
Stan.
Yer. All right. Thank you for listening.
Hopefully I didn't bore you. Hopefully you enjoyed the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching the A.J.I podcast.
Yay.
Clap, 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 clap. We need the little hand clappers. Cane and gamus.